Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of the most offensive podcast ever. I'm Slimmy V, and today I am going to be talking about vaccines and children being allowed to get them without parents' consent. So, the Washington Post reports DC Council approves bill allowing children to get vaccines without parents' consent. Let's read and see what they say. This is crazy. Okay, this is by Julie Zuzmer. All right. I'm going to read. A bill passed by the DC Council on Tuesday would allow children as young as age 11 to obtain vaccinations without their parents' consent. This is ridiculous. As young as the age of 11? Really? So we are now saying that we can't parent our children? We are not capable of being responsible for the health of our child? At the age of 11, the government is mandating us, or they're passing legislation to give them the right to make that decision for themselves. This is the thing that I've been talking about in my previous videos. Look what it's leading up to. Look where we at right now. This has got to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Let me just read. Under the legislation, if a doctor determines that a minor is capable of informed consent, they would be able to seek government recommended vaccination their parents object to on religious grounds. So it doesn't matter if I feel a certain way about this vaccination. My child can just override my authority and say, Dad, I am going to get this vaccination. I don't care what your religion says about it, Dad. I'm going to get it, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm 11 years old. I'm an adult, and I could do it. This is where we at. Does that sound ridiculous? Because it is. Let me continue reading. I'll give my play-by-play as I read. They also could get vaccinated against the human papillomavirus, that's HPV, which is recommended for older children, but opposed by some parents because the virus is sexually transmitted and they object to their teenagers having sex. Of course we object to our teenagers having sex. We object to 11-year-olds having sex. Why are they even allowed to even get this vaccination? Hold up. Just in case you guys didn't know what HPV is. Hold on. Human papillomavirus. HPV is a viral infection that's passed between people through skin-to-skin contact. Ain't no, my 11-year-old ain't gonna be doing no skin-to-skin contact with nobody. There are over 100 varieties of HPVs, more than 40 of which are passed through sexual contact and can affect your genitals, mouth, or throat. Okay. Oh, wow. 11-year-old. They can't wipe their own ass. I ain't trying to say the word correctly. They can't wipe their own ass. They got streak in their underwear. 11-year-olds. They can't even bathe properly. 11-year-olds. They can't even clean their ears. They don't even know how to wash properly. You got to beg them to brush their teeth. 11-year-olds. Are we giving them consent? We giving them their right to get a vaccine? You gotta beg them to do their homework. Some of them can't even go outside to the store and buy something, you know. But they get consent? Golly. They're still figuring out who they are. But we're going to give them consent? Some of them don't even know about the birds and the bees, but maybe they do because the internet is full of pornography and things like this. But I am talking about the vaccination, right? The COVID virus vaccination that they, if you oppose that, they could kind of go against your will and go. Let me continue reading because it gets worse. Yes, I'm sorry, it gets worse. Okay? Just strap yourself to your seats. The bill, which was approved 12-1, requires that the doctor send the vaccination records in such cases to the child's schools rather than the parents, and seek compensation directly from the insurance company without involving the parents. This is nuts! So wait, who are the parents? Am I the parent? Or is the government the parent for my child? What is going on here? I can't raise my child. You can't raise your child. You don't know what's good for your child. You made your child. The government didn't tell you who to have sex with to make that child. The government did not pick the sex of that child. You picked your wife. And then you had your child. So it's your choice on how to protect your child. This should not be mandated. It should not be mandatory. But they're making it so that the child overrides your decisions. For what? And it's no wonder people are getting pissed at the government. It's no wonder they don't trust these vaccinations. It's no wonder there are anti-vaxxers out there. We can't trust the government. We can't trust these vaccines. We can't trust these legislations that's being passed out there that's separating parents and children. In the biblical scripture, it says there are going to be days where parents and children are separated. And it's happening right before our eyes. If I wish I could pull up the scripture. But I'm not even going to pull up the scripture. I'm just going to tell you. Okay? Let me keep on reading. The idea for the legislation was born out of measles outbreaks in the United States last year. But Council Member Vincent C. Gray, D. Ward 7, who shepherded it to passage as chair of the Health Committee, said the hope of the imminent coronavirus vaccine gave the bill new urgency. They're going off of fear, ladies and gentlemen. This bill is being passed because of fear. What else can they pass in the name of fear? Ladies and gentlemen, we are not logically thinking about this. Let me keep on reading. The one thing that we've learned from COVID, for example, is that policymakers, lawmakers, need to make science-driven decisions about public health policy, Gray said at a breakfast for the council members before the legislative meeting Tuesday. This is so okay. So they making these decisions based off science. But yet when you got another science, other doctors that's opposing this because of science, you don't want to hear them. Let me read a little bit more. To become law, the bill must pass a second vote of the council, then go to Mayor Muriel E. Bowser, who's a Democrat, for her signature. Council Member Trayon White, Sr., D. Ward 8, voted against the legislation. Let's hope this holds. Thank God we have people that's not wanting to sign this. Okay, this person, wow, who has a 12-year-old son, said he sees 11-year-olds as too young to make independent decisions about their medical care. Could you imagine? Could you imagine an 11-year-old going to the doctor by themselves? Now, if my 11-year-old took the vehicle, right, and drove to the medical by himself, I'll get arrested. But then I'm like, wait, hold on. The government grants him permission to make medical decisions for himself. So why can't he take my car or my vehicle, right? You don't know how I'm pronouncing it? I know how to pronounce it for vehicle. So if my son is caught outside, 11 years old, unattended by a parent, I probably could, ACS can take me. I could be in trouble. Oh man. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Are you guys for this? You guys fine with this? Are you guys fine with your 11-year-old making that decision for his or herself? If you say no, are you okay with the government taking your child and just boom, because the child wanted it, because the child fears of what's going on out there, fears that he might die from the coronavirus? Are you guys okay with that? Are you parents okay with your child? And I'm talking to the liberals, the one that's like for this stuff. Okay? Do you want the vaccine to be mandatory? Do you want it to be mandatory? Do you understand where anti-vaxxers? I'm not anti-vax. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Vaccine has gotten rid of a lot of diseases. Thank God. Okay? Done properly, I'm fine with it. Done like this? Now we wildin'. We bugging out. You wildin' too. If you're not offended, you're not listening. I'm Slimmy V, and this is the most offensive podcast ever. God bless, stress less, and let Yahweh do the rest. I am out. Peace.